Shalom everyone! Welcome back to my channel. So for today, we're gonna talk about one of the surprising news I read last night. Yes, and not only me, but everyone is talking about it. It's about the Israel and UAE peace deal, and they really made history. And just to let you know guys, last night the Tel Aviv City Hall lights up to welcome this new blossoming friendship between the UAE and Israel. In my blog, we want to talk about why this event is so historical. Because the UAE and Israel doesn't have such a very good relationship before. So let's look back on some of it. Okay? First, during the time when the UAE is not recognizing yet Israel as a state, they did not allow Israeli citizens or those suspected of being Israeli citizens an entry into the UAE, including Israeli passport holders, except for transit. However, the third-party nationals with Israeli stamps or visas in their passports were allowed an entry. There were no direct flights between Israel and the UAE, and you need to go through a third party, which is you need to have a stopover which is like in Jordan. And yeah, there is no Israeli aircraft that was allowed into the UAE airspace. Restrictions were tightened against the entry of the Israeli citizens following Mahmoud assassinations in Dubai, which was blamed to the Israeli intelligence. The UAE had a history of denying the entry of the Israelis, including sports. Yes, you heard it right. However, the international pressure has led to exceptions being made for athletes in an international competitions. In addition, the UAE athletes are prohibited in taking any part in events in Israel and as well as competing with other Israeli athletes in any circumstances. February 2010, a tennis player, Shahar Peer, was denied a visa by the UAE and thus prevented her from playing at the Dubai Tennis Championship. And a number of players, among them is Venus Williams, who condemned the visa rejection, and the Women's Tennis Association chief, Laurie Scott, said that he had considered canceling the tournament, but chose not to after consulting to share. And another one is in October 2017 when an Israeli judoka, Tal Flicker, won a gold international judo championship in the UAE. So officials refused to fly the Israeli flag and play the Israel national anthem, instead playing the official music of international judo federations and flying the IJF's logo. Wow. And the UAE also banned Israeli athletes from wearing their country's symbol on their uniforms, having to wear the IGF uniforms. And other contestants such as Gili Cohen received the same treatment. And in October 2018, the UAE reversed its positions, allowing the Israeli flag to be displayed and the anthem played when an Israeli judoka, Sagi Muki, won a gold medal in a judo grand competition, with the Israeli Minister of Culture and Sport, Migi Regev, attending the events in Abu Dhabi. So you see, it's like a small baby step. So from where we are right now, from what they have signed yesterday. And in 2019, in Asian Cup held in January was a turning point. For the first time since the expulsion of Israel from the Asian Football Confederation, the UAE allowed an Israeli TV channel, Sports 5, to directly broadcast the tournament held in the country. This was seen as a sign of a warming relations between the UAE and Israel. Sports 5 officially broadcast the opening match between the UAE and Bahrain and had remained active until the end of the tournament. And in March 2019, Israeli athletes participated in the 2019 Special Olympics World Games held in Abu Dhabi. United Arab Emirates does not officially recognize Israel, and the Israeli passport holder cannot enter legally to the country. The two do not have a formal economic or diplomatic ties. The relationship became strained in 2010 after the UAE accused the Mossad of assassinating Mahmoud al-Mahbou, and he was the co-founder of Is al-Din al-Qassam Bridges, the military wing of Hamas, and wanted by the Israeli government for the kidnapping and murder of 2 Israeli soldiers in 1989 in purchasing arms from Iran for use in Gaza. In the first flight to Israel, Etihad Airways arrived in Israel on May 19, 2020, carrying 14 tons of medical supplies to help the Palestinians cope with the COVID-19 pandemic. The Palestinian Authority said it would refuse the aid because it had come through Israel. June 9, 2020, a second Etihad Airlines plane brought another shipment of medical supplies. Unlike the first flight, the Etihad logo and United Arab Emirates were visible on the plane. While the Palestinian Authority again complained, the suppliers were to be transferred to the UN for the distribution in the Gaza Strip. In a dramatic and unexpected joint announcement by the United States, Israel and the UAE agreed to full normalizations of relations. The agreement was sealed in a phone call on August 13, 2020 between President Donald Trump, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, and Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed, the Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi. Throughout its 72 years of history, Israel has been at war with or largely ignored by most of all its Arab neighbors. The nation has fought 4 major wars with a coalition of Arab states that pledged and failed to destroy it. Until this week, Israel has diplomatic relations with only 2 Arab countries, Egypt and Jordan. The rest of the region, at least officially, continued not to recognize a Jewish state. But that changes now. Israel and Israelis can openly trade with, meet with, and travel with another Arab nation country. Another Arab embassy will be open to Israel, and an Israeli flag will fly in that country. This also may open the doors for other countries to allow it. Yes, the accord merely formalizes unofficial contacts between the 2 countries for years. It doesn't meaningfully change the contours of the Israeli-Palestinian conflicts. And like every diplomatic deal, this one has many critics who says it carries the risks and drawbacks for Israel and its future. But the hope for the peace in the Middle East is written into Israel's founding documents. Israel and an Arab nations have taken another step in that direction. So that's it, guys. So what is your comments or thoughts about this Israel and UAE peace deals? Please comment below, and do not forget to like and subscribe. So see you again on my next vlog. Bye! Thank you for watching!